Welcome back, everyone, to our taped portion of our Memorial Day show. Mark is with us now, and it has been about 6 weeks since the Boston Marathon bombing. Many of the victims who lost limbs are still recovering from their injuries.
A Wisconsin veteran is doing his part to help them move on. B.J. Ganem is a retired Marine sergeant whose leg was amputated below the knee while serving in Iraq in 2004. He returned recently from a trip to Boston to help bombing victims there. Welcome to Live at 5, B.J.
Thanks for having me.
Happy Memorial Day.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You too.
When the Boston incident happened, did it send you back to Iraq in your mind?
Not so much back to Iraq, but it was something that I would expect to see in Iraq or Afghanistan. So actually, I was in New York for a Disabled Sports USA event, and it happened. And immediately I texted our CEO, Karen Gunther, and said, we've got to get out there. There's going to be people with injuries just like ours. And I wasn't the only one, and none of us had talked, so most of the people on Team Simplify.
The CEO of what?
Simplify Fund, excuse me.
And what is that?
So it's a national nonprofit started by Karen Gunther and a few other military wives. And Karen Gunther was an ICU nurse at Balboa, and she was seeing that a lot of injured veterans coming back, and not all their needs were being met. So as you probably know from these wars, we've had a lot more survival rate than in the past. In these wars, if someone was able to get to you while you were breathing, you had a 98% chance of survival,
Wow.
which is more than double any other war in the history of mankind. So obviously nobody was ready for the amount of survivors that we were going to have. So the VA has done a good job meeting basic needs, which I think is their job. But organizations like the Simplify Fund, we come through and really help with a lot of the stuff that's overlooked. So take for instance myself as an amputee. Getting in and out of the shower is dangerous for most people, most able-bodied people, but it's even twice as much dangerous for myself. So there's grants that help put in handlebars into the wall and make non-slip floor surfaces. So these are the type benefits that we were looking to bring to the Boston victims. And then also our expertise of having gone through the process of losing a limb and coming to recognition with that and coming to terms with that, and then kind of moving on to thrive. So we're offering a mentorship process and then also financial assistance where we can.
Oh, that's wonderful. Tell us your story and what
Sure.
happened to you when you were serving.
So I deployed with Golf Company 224 out of here in Madison. So it's a Marine Corps infantry unit. And we went to Iraq, the Babel province, which is just south of Mahmadiyah, south of Baghdad, in and around Mahmadiyah. We did a lot of patrols, IED sweeps, searching for the improvised explosive devices. And Thanksgiving night, we were doing a ghost patrol, which is basically we're silent and dark behind a bigger vehicle patrols running supplies up to Baghdad. Nothing really much was happening. On our way back, we hit a vehicle, or a victim-initiated IED. So basically, they took Christmas tree wires and laid it across the road. As soon as my vehicle's wheels got caught up in that, it set off two 155 Russian-made artillery shells.
Oh, wow.
And it killed our gunner, Ryan Cantafio, from Beaver Dam almost immediately. Severely injured myself and then two other Marines. There was a small ambush afterwards, which we had a quick reaction force from our, we lived underneath a bridge, kind of like what you see on 90-94. So we had another squad that came out in support. We squelched the ambush, and then I was trucked out to Mahmadiyah, and from there flown to Baghdad for my initial amputation. And they also had to take out glass from my left eye and remove other shrapnel. And then from there I went to Balad Air Force Base, which is still in Iraq, and from there to Longstuhl, Germany, where I had about another 18, 19 surgeries. Oh, wow. And then from there to Bethesda, where I had the final 6 or 7 surgeries. And from Bethesda, I went to Walter Reed for rehab. And initially, my amputation was right around the ankle. And I kept that till 2010, when I wasn't as active as I wanted to be. So I actually had to make the decision to go higher in 2010. So I went to the Hines VA hospital, where they had a world-class surgeon do the surgery, and it's been great.
So you went out to Boston to help people there who lost limbs in the bombing. You don't expect that to happen in downtown Boston.
No.
And perhaps in Iraq it could happen to you. But so what did you find in Boston?
I was really expecting to hold some hands and listen to a lot of crying and why me and what's life going to be like now. We had the questions of what's life going to be like now. We took off our legs, our prosthetics, our arms, everything. Let them play with it, answered a lot of questions, especially about phantom pain. But I was really taken aback with how courageous they were, how much resolve they had, how much just pure, just Boston strong. I mean, that label couldn't fit a better circumstance. And every one of the people, I met with 14 different victims and their families, and every one of them just refreshed my belief in the human spirit. I mean, it's just a shame that it takes a tragedy of this magnitude to really kind of bring that out, and it's not something that happens every day.
And how is your life today?
It's great. I work for the Semper Fi Fund now. I used to be the Dane County Veteran Service Officer until this February, but it's great. I work with other veterans, kind of help them in the transition phase. I had a lot of people that were there to help me. I get a great chance to meet a lot of different people and come up with innovative ways to kind of help both the veterans understand their part in integrating back into society, and also helping civilians understand how they can help. And then,
Well,
being able
good
to
for
be
you. You're paying it forward.
doing my best,
Good
doing
for
my
you.
best. Like I said, I got a lot to pay back.
Thank you for your service and your continued service.
Thank
BJ, happy Memorial Day.
Happy
Thank you. You
Memorial
too.
Day.